I stood in the hallway barefoot, with my heart pounding against my ribs like it was trying to escape. The guest room door was slightly open, just enough for the sounds to slip out. Moaning. Panting. My best friend's voice. My husband's name. In one gut-wrenching moment, my entire world collapsed with a single whispered, "Marcus," that did not come from my lips. To all my incredible subscribers, thank you from the bottom of my heart for staying loyal and riding this wild roller coaster of human emotions with me. And to all my new and returning viewers who are yet to subscribe, I truly cannot wait for you to hit that subscribe button right now. That little tap fuels the stories I bring to life here. It is my energy source. Drop your thoughts in the comments below after this chapter, because this one is deeply personal, twisted, and real. Now, let me introduce myself and walk you into the house where I unknowingly opened the door to betrayal. My name is Olivia Carter, and I live in a quiet suburb just outside Charlotte, North Carolina. From the outside, my life looked like a picture-perfect Pinterest board, married to Marcus, my college sweetheart. We had 2 kids, a golden retriever named Lucky, and a backyard that bloomed like a southern dream in spring. I had what many women dreamed of, a husband who wore pressed suits, opened car doors, and brought home flowers every other Friday. He made 6 figures, and I contributed creatively through my interior decor work. We had date nights, vacations, a joint Pinterest board for our dream kitchen remodel. But looking back, the cracks were already forming. And one of them had a name, Kayla Moore. Kayla and I had been inseparable since middle school. We were the kind of friends who could finish each other's sentences. We moved from childish crushes to adult heartbreaks together. I was her maid of honor twice. Both of her marriages failed, but I never judged. When Kayla called crying one Wednesday afternoon, telling me she had lost her job after her company downsized, my heart went out to her. She said she could not afford her rent. She sounded broken, like a balloon slowly deflating. She did not even need to ask. I offered. "Come stay with us," I said. "Just until you get back on your feet." Marcus raised an eyebrow when I told him. He was not rude, but he was not thrilled either. "Just a few weeks," I assured him. "She needs us right now." I wish I could go back and slap myself for those words. The first few weeks were not bad. Kayla helped with the kids, made dinner occasionally, and brought wine to our backyard evenings. She was charming as always, funny, and magnetic in that way that always drew people toward her. But soon, something shifted. She started dressing differently around the house, looser tops, no bra, short pajama shorts that barely held her curves. She would hang around Marcus more, laughing just a little too hard at his jokes, complimenting his cologne. I brushed it off. I told myself I was being paranoid. One night, I came home late from a client meeting. The house was quiet, but as I walked toward the kitchen, I heard their laughter from the back patio. Just the 2 of them. "Did not expect to see you 2 up this late," I said, forcing a smile. They both jumped like teenagers caught smoking. Marcus said they were just talking about Kayla's career plans. She blushed. I looked at the half-empty wine bottle on the table. Still, I let it go. A few nights later, I noticed Marcus had a new password on his phone. It had always been the kids' birth dates before. I asked him about it, and he said, "Security at work." Something inside me twisted. The next day, Kayla offered to take the kids to the park. I took the chance to snoop through her room. Nothing obvious. Just clothes, a few books, and a perfume bottle I had never seen before. Marc Jacobs Daisy. She had once said it was the scent she used when she was on the prowl. That night, Marcus said he was too tired for our usual Friday intimacy. It was the first time in months. He rolled over, and within minutes, he was snoring. I lay beside him, wide awake, staring at the ceiling fan spinning slow circles above my head. I could feel it, like a thundercloud about to break. 2 days later, I woke up around midnight to use the bathroom. On my way back, I passed by the guest room. The door was cracked open. And then I heard it. Breathless. Rhythmic. Pleasured. Marcus. I froze. At first, I thought I was hallucinating. I leaned in. I heard it again. Her voice. His name. A low grunt. The creak of the bed frame. I did not cry. I did not scream. I just stood there, numb. My whole body turned cold as I backed away and returned to my room. I crawled under the sheets next to the man who had just finished screwing my best friend. He stirred and wrapped an arm around me like nothing had happened. I lay there, stiff as stone, and stared into the darkness. That was the night everything changed. But believe me when I say, it was only the beginning. There were deeper betrayals. Secrets that would cut like glass. And in the end, it would not be just my husband and best friend who got exposed. It would be me, raw, broken, and reborn. Stay with me. Because in Chapter 2, I will tell you how I faced them both and why Kayla should have never mistaken my kindness for weakness. The morning after I heard my best friend moaning my husband's name from the guest room, the sun rose like it always did, but everything in me felt different. I looked the same. The house looked the same. But the way my heart beat changed. The way I looked at Marcus changed. The way I looked at Kayla shattered beyond recovery. I woke up before anyone else. I brewed coffee with shaking hands. The sound of it dripping into the pot was the only thing grounding me. I stood by the kitchen window watching the dew settle on the grass, knowing I would never unhear what I had heard. Marcus walked in first, rubbing the back of his neck like he had not just betrayed me in the worst way possible. He kissed my cheek. I felt his lips like fire burning my skin. "Did you sleep well?" he asked. I stared at him, almost laughing. I wondered how it felt to lie so effortlessly. "Yes. Like a baby." He smiled. That smile had once made my stomach flutter. Now, it made bile rise in my throat. Minutes later, Kayla walked in, dressed in my robe. The one Marcus had bought for our 10th anniversary. "Morning, Liv," she said, yawning like she had not spent the night moaning for the man I married. That was when it hit me, I needed to play along. At least for now. I was not ready to confront them. Not yet. I wanted evidence, confirmation. I wanted them caught red-handed in the most undeniable way possible. I wanted to strip away every lie they had wrapped themselves in. So I smiled back at Kayla. "Morning, hon." Over the next few days, I became someone else, calm, calculated, observant. I watched Marcus closer than I ever had in 16 years of marriage. I noticed things I had been blind to before. Like how he never let his phone out of sight, even when he went to shower. Like how Kayla would suddenly take long walks when Marcus was working from home. Like how the guest room door never quite shut all the way anymore. I began keeping a journal, writing down every suspicious moment, every hushed conversation, every glance that lingered too long. But one day, I got sloppy. I forgot to log out of my iPad after syncing Marcus's messages. When he came home that evening and saw me watching a design video, I saw the flicker of suspicion cross his face. The next morning, all messages vanished from my iCloud. Password changed. Access revoked. So he knew. He knew I was on to him. Still, I said nothing. The following Saturday, we had a small neighborhood barbecue. Our backyard was full of families, the smell of grilled meat, laughter, music, and kids running barefoot in the grass. But I was not there for joy. I was watching. Kayla wore a sundress that barely reached her thighs. Marcus could not stop stealing glances at her. At one point, I caught them standing too close by the shed, whispering. She touched his arm. He looked around before laughing. I snapped a picture. Not proof enough, but it was something. The next week, Kayla said she had landed an interview downtown and needed help picking an outfit. She asked if she could borrow one of my blouses, my navy silk one. I said yes. Then I followed her into the room. She opened the closet. My closet. She paused. You and Marcus, are you two okay? I narrowed my eyes. Why do you ask? She shrugged, avoiding my gaze. Just. The way you two have been distant lately. You are not being yourself. I stepped closer. Neither are you, Kayla. She froze for a second. What does that mean? I smiled, sharp and slow. It means I know everything. Her face drained of color. She blinked, laughed nervously. Know what? You know what, I said. She tried to deny it. Swore I was imagining things. Said I had been under stress and reading too much into things. I told her to pack her things by Sunday. She stared at me like she could not believe it. Then she made a mistake. She said, he came to me, Olivia. Not the other way around. I did not react. But inside, my blood turned to fire. That was confirmation. I had what I needed. Later that night, Marcus came home drunk. I waited for him in the kitchen, a glass of water in front of me. He looked at me with glazed eyes and slurred words. You are acting weird lately. I folded my arms. Do you love her? He blinked. Who? Kayla. He laughed, then paused. Are you serious? Answer me. He took a long breath. She was just there. We were talking one night. One thing led to another. It just happened. My mouth twitched. It just happened. Beneath my roof. He raised his voice. You were always tired. Always distracted with work or the kids. There it was. The blame. The excuse. I stood up and leaned forward, my voice like ice. So you punished me by sleeping with my best friend? He looked down. Coward. I walked out of the kitchen. I could not even cry anymore. The pain had dried up. In its place was something colder, resolve. The next day, I opened a private email account. I hired a friend, Megan, a digital forensic investigator who owed me a favor. I gave her Marcus's phone number, email, bank statements, and access to every smart device in the house. In less than 2 days, she sent me everything I needed. Screenshots. Emails. Voice recordings. Even a hidden savings account where Marcus had been transferring money. Money that ended up in Kayla's name. They were planning something. A future. Without me. That was the moment I decided they were both going to lose everything. The next few weeks were quiet. I acted normal. I even apologized to Kayla, told her I had been under stress and overreacted. I told Marcus I wanted to work on things. I needed them to lower their guard. I needed them to believe I had forgiven them. But behind the scenes, I was building the fire that would burn them both to the ground. I met with a divorce attorney in secret. I copied all the documents Megan had sent me and stored them on a USB drive in the false bottom of my makeup drawer. I began preparing the narrative. Quietly, powerfully. Because the next chapter of this story would not be about betrayal. It would be about revenge. And trust me, I made it unforgettable. There is a specific kind of silence that comes before a storm. Not the soft, peaceful kind. I am talking about the heavy silence. The one where the air crackles, the birds vanish, and the sky forgets how to breathe. That was me in the weeks that followed my decision to destroy them both. Beneath every smile I gave, every dinner I cooked, every bedtime story I read to our children, was a woman sharpening her claws. I waited. I listened. I plotted. The plan began with Marcus's company's annual charity gala. He was on the board. Every year, he stood on stage, thanked the sponsors, kissed babies, and handed out fake smiles with expensive cufflinks. Kayla received an invitation too. Marcus arranged it. He told me she was helping with event coordination. I laughed inside. I already knew she would be there, wearing something tight, trying to act invisible and irreplaceable all at once. That night, I dressed with intention. A deep red gown, backless, floor-length, and so bold even my reflection flinched. I curled my hair the way Marcus used to love. My makeup was sharp, my lips red like warning signs. He saw me step out of the room and paused, eyes darkening. But I walked past him like he was a stranger. At the gala, the room was full of power, lawyers, CEOs, influencers, and people whose names opened doors. I had carefully chosen this place for one reason. Public humiliation. During dinner, while everyone was seated and drinks flowed freely, the MC announced it was time for a special slideshow tribute. Marcus looked confused, he had not planned one. The lights dimmed. A giant screen lit up. It started with pictures, Marcus and Kayla in the backyard, a little too close. Then came the texts, blown up for everyone to see. You taste better when she is asleep. I miss your skin, even when I am in bed with her. I want us to start over. Just you and me, no more hiding. Gasps rippled across the room. Then came the audio recordings. Kayla's voice, breathless and wanting. Marcus whispering filth, promising her the world he had built with me. And then, my voice. This is Olivia Carter. The woman they betrayed. The wife. The friend. The fool. But not anymore. The room erupted in murmurs. Marcus shot up from the table, his face pale, sweat glistening on his temples. Turn it off, he barked. But it was too late. The storm had landed. And every eye in that room was on him. Kayla, sitting 2 tables away, looked frozen. Her hand covered her mouth, but her eyes were locked on me. Not with shame. Not with sorrow. With fear. She had underestimated me. She thought I was soft. Forgiving. Weak. She forgot I am a woman who loved deeply, which meant I could also burn just as deep. Marcus stormed toward me, jaw tight, eyes wild. What the hell did you do? I stood calmly, lifted my champagne glass, and smiled. Truth. I served truth. Security escorted him out as the event organizers rushed to cut the feed. But it was done. The room would never forget it. Charlotte's society would never forget it. And Marcus's career? Ruined. Within a week, he was forced to resign. Sponsors pulled out. His reputation was in ashes. I filed for divorce the very next day. The evidence I had collected made the process swift. My lawyer was ruthless. I got the house, full custody of our kids, and a restraining order that kept him 50 feet away unless arranged through court order. He tried to beg, to explain, to promise. But I had already packed his lies into a mental suitcase and thrown it into the sea. As for Kayla, she tried to vanish. Deleted all her socials. Disappeared from our circle. But betrayal has a scent. And it follows. I leaked the story to a popular podcast that exposed female betrayal and backstabbing. Kayla's face was posted across reels and reactions. She became a cautionary tale. A trending hashtag. Hashtag guestroom Jezebel. She called once, from a blocked number. I picked up and stayed silent. Olivia, she said, voice trembling. Why did you do this? My only reply was, because you never asked me how it felt. Then I hung up. I blocked the number. I blocked the memory. Months passed. I redecorated the house. Removed every picture of him, every memory that stung. I built a garden out back, a small sanctuary. I planted lavender and rosemary, 2 scents I once associated with pain. Now they grew under my care. Flourishing. Free. The kids adjusted. They laughed more. I laughed more. I took long walks with Lucky. I booked myself a solo weekend in the mountains and found peace among trees that did not judge. I did not rush to date again. I was not looking for love. I was looking for myself. And I found her, in small moments, in sunlight, in strength. People often ask if I regret letting Kayla move in. No. I do not. Because her betrayal did not break me. It rebuilt me. It made me remember who I was before I became someone's wife, someone's friend, someone's background character. I am Olivia Carter. And the next door I open will never lead to betrayal. Only freedom.